For decades, the world admired Audrey Hepburn as the embodiment of elegance, grace, and timeless beauty. Her performances in films like Roman Holiday and Breakfast at Tiffany's turned her into one of Hollywood's most beloved figures. Yet the public image only revealed part of her story. Behind the gentle smile and refined style was a woman shaped by hardship, loss, and resilience. Many fans wondered whether the life of such a glamorous star was truly as perfect as it appeared. Years later, her son, Sean Hepburn Farrar, began speaking openly about the realities of her life. Through his reflections, a deeper and more human portrait of Audrey emerges. Her story is not simply about fame or beauty, but about survival, compassion, and the strength to turn pain into purpose. A childhood marked by abandonment. Audrey Hepburn's early life was far from the glamorous world she would later inhabit. Born on May 4, 1929, in Brussels, she initially appeared to grow up surrounded by culture and sophistication. Her family moved frequently across Europe, and she was exposed to different languages and traditions from a young age. However, when Audrey was only 6 years old, her father abruptly left the family. His sudden departure deeply wounded her and left an emotional scar that remained throughout her life. Audrey later described this abandonment as one of the most painful experiences she ever endured. Years later, she managed to locate her father living in Dublin and attempted to reconnect with him. Sadly, the reunion provided little comfort or closure. The absence of a loving father continued to shape her emotional world for decades. Surviving the hardships of war. By the time Audrey was 10 years old, Europe had descended into chaos as World War II spread across the continent. Living in the Netherlands during the Nazi occupation, she experienced the harsh realities of war firsthand. Food shortages became common, and survival was uncertain for many families. During the devastating Dutch famine, Audrey often survived on unusual and desperate substitutes for food, including nettles and tulip bulbs. Malnutrition left her weak and dangerously underweight, causing health problems that would follow her throughout her life. The frail figure that audiences later admired on screen was not the result of vanity, but of years of hunger and deprivation. Audrey never forgot the suffering she witnessed during the war. The memories of hardship and loss stayed with her and later inspired her lifelong compassion for others facing similar struggles. Secret performances for the resistance. Despite the dangers of wartime life, Audrey clung to the one passion that gave her hope: ballet. Dance was not merely a hobby for her. It was a dream she pursued with determination and discipline. During the war, she participated in secret ballet performances organized to raise funds for the Dutch resistance. These small and quiet recitals were often held in private homes where audiences watched in silence to avoid drawing attention from occupying forces. For Audrey, these performances were acts of courage and solidarity. They offered moments of beauty in a dark and uncertain time. Dancing allowed her to express herself and contribute to a cause larger than herself. Even in the face of fear and scarcity, Audrey's dedication to ballet reflected her resilience and her desire to bring hope to others. From ballet to Hollywood stardom. While Audrey's dream of becoming a ballerina faded, another path unexpectedly opened before her. Her natural charm, expressive face, and graceful movement caught the attention of filmmakers and casting directors. Gradually, she transitioned from small stage and film roles into major productions. Her breakthrough came with the film Roman Holiday, which instantly transformed her into an international star. Audiences were captivated by her sincerity and freshness, qualities that made her different from many other actresses of the era. Soon after, she appeared in several iconic films that cemented her place in cinematic history. Despite her growing fame, Audrey never forgot the discipline she had learned through ballet. The training gave her a unique elegance and natural grace that became her signature. Hollywood celebrated her beauty, but her true strength lay in authenticity and quiet confidence. A beauty who never felt beautiful. Although the world admired Audrey Hepburn as one of the most beautiful women in cinema, she often struggled with her own self-image. She frequently focused on what she believed were her imperfections, rather than the qualities others praised. Audrey sometimes felt that her tall, slender figure and distinctive features did not match traditional standards of beauty. Instead of embracing her appearance, she often saw flaws where others saw elegance. Over time, however, her perspective began to change. As she grew older, Audrey developed a deeper appreciation for herself and for the natural process of aging. According to her son Sean, she believed life moved through different seasons, each bringing its own meaning and value. Rather than fearing age, she welcomed it as an opportunity to focus on family, love, and giving back to the world. Searching for true love, Audrey's personal life was marked by both romance and heartbreak. In 1952, she became engaged to industrialist James Hansen, a relationship she initially believed would lead to lasting happiness. She once described their connection as love at first sight. However, as time passed, Audrey realized that their demanding careers would keep them separated for long periods. She ultimately decided to end the engagement, explaining that she wanted a marriage built on genuine partnership rather than occasional meetings. Her words revealed her deep desire for meaningful commitment. Audrey believed marriage should be rooted in closeness and shared life, not simply romantic gestures. This philosophy guided her future relationships and reflected her thoughtful approach to love. Even though some relationships did not last, she remained hopeful about finding companionship and emotional connection. The painful struggle to become a mother. One of the most heartbreaking chapters of Audrey's life involved her struggle to become a mother. She experienced several miscarriages, including one that occurred very late in pregnancy. The emotional impact of these losses was devastating. According to her son Sean, Audrey once said that this pain was more difficult to endure than anything she had experienced before. Even the trauma of her parents' separation and the hardships of war did not compare to the sorrow she felt during these moments. Yet Audrey continued to hope for the family she dreamed of building. When she finally became a mother, the experience brought profound joy and healing. Her children became the center of her world. Motherhood allowed her to rediscover happiness and gave her a sense of peace that had long been missing from her life. Compassion through humanitarian work. Audrey Hepburn's experiences during childhood shaped her lifelong commitment to helping others. Having survived hunger during the war, she felt a deep responsibility toward children facing poverty and starvation around the world. Later in life, she became a dedicated ambassador for UNICEF, traveling to regions affected by famine and conflict. Her humanitarian work was not simply symbolic. She actively visited communities, spoke with families, and raised awareness about global suffering. Audrey believed that compassion required action. She often said that her memories of wartime hunger made it impossible for her to ignore the struggles of others. Even as illness began to affect her health, she continued working tirelessly to support humanitarian causes. Through these efforts, she transformed personal tragedy into a powerful force for kindness and global awareness. A legacy beyond Hollywood. In the final years of her life, Audrey faced another challenge when she was diagnosed with a rare form of cancer. Despite the illness, she maintained the same warmth and generosity that had defined her character. Her focus remained on helping others and spending meaningful time with her family. Today, her sons, Sean and Luca, work to preserve her legacy and ensure that the world remembers her not only as a film star, but as a compassionate human being. Sean has even helped share her story with younger generations through a children's book inspired by her life. Audrey Hepburn's legacy continues to inspire people around the world. Her journey proves that true beauty is not defined by fame or perfection, but by resilience, empathy, and the courage to transform suffering into hope. Conclusion: the enduring spirit of Audrey Hepburn. Audrey Hepburn will always be remembered as one of the most elegant figures in cinematic history. Yet her real story is far deeper than the glamorous roles she played. Behind the timeless image was a woman who experienced abandonment, war, heartbreak, and illness. Instead of allowing these hardships to define her, she transformed them into empathy and compassion for others. Through her humanitarian work and dedication to family, Audrey showed that true grace comes from kindness and strength of character. Her life reminds us that beauty is not about perfection, but about resilience, generosity, and humanity. Long after the camera stopped rolling, Audrey Hepburn's spirit continues to inspire people everywhere, proving that even in the darkest moments, hope, courage, and love can create a lasting legacy.